Short in Avenue Pierre 1 Er de Serbie is 5th. B Manon in Avenue Marceau is 3rd. The qualification session is at in Paris, France. Jason Short from New Zealand in Avenue George V is P1. Johnny Prince from New Zealand in Avenue de IA copyright N8 is 5th. Jason Short in Place du Trocadero is 1st. B Manon from Italy in Boulevard delle Serte is 4th. Ten minutes remaining in the session. The race dictator from New Zealand in Avenue Marceau is P2. Jason Short in Avenue de Champs A per thousand Lisa copyright ES is P1. Jason Short is up 11.47 in Statue A copyright Quester de Washington. Jason Short is up 11.54 in Avenue de Ala. Jason Short is up 11.67 in Place du Costa Rica. Jason Short is up 11.67 in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson. Jason Short improved his first with a 2:06.585. Moose Knuckle from Canada in Avenue de Champs A per thousand Lisa copyright ES is P3. Moose Knuckle improved his second with a 2:06.662. 0.077 off pole. B Manon is provisional pole with a 2:06.557. Moose Knuckle is up 0.32 in Statue A copyright Quester de Washington. B Manon in Statue A copyright Quester de Washington is P1 up 0.23. Manon is up 0.22 in Avenue de Ayala. B Manon is up 0.14 in Place du Costa Rica. Johnny Prince in Avenue de New York is P5. Best lap is a 2:07.607. 1.050 off pole. The race dictator in place Charles de Gaulle is P4. Moose Knuckle from Canada in place Charles de Gaulle is third. 5 minutes remaining in the session. The race dictator in Avenue de IA copyright NA is P4 up 0.11. Moose Knuckle in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson is P3 up 0.10. Race dictator in Rue Benjamin Franklin is fourth. Best lap is a 2:06.733. 0.176 off pole. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de New York is third. Best lap is a 2:06.662. 0.105 off pole. Avenue Marceau is P1. Johnny Prince in place Charles de Gaulle is fifth. In Avenue de IA copyright NA is P1. is up 0.28 in route along champ. B Manon is up 0.19 in Avenue Paul Daumer. B Manon is up 0.03 in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson. B Manon is provisional pole with a 206.280. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de IA copyright NA is P3 up 0.22. Moose Knuckle is up 0.49 in Place de Mexico. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Moose Knuckle is up 0.67 in Rue Benjamin Franklin. Moose Knuckle is up 0.07 in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson. .906. Johnny Prince improved his P5 with a 207.386. 1.480 off pole. The race session is in Paris, France. B Manon from Italy is P1. Jason Short from New Zealand is second. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. B Manon is P1. Moose Knuckle from Canada in Place Charles de Gaulle is P2. The Race Dictator from New Zealand in Statue A copyright Quester de Washington is P3. Johnny Prince from New Zealand en route to Longchamp is P4. Johnny Prince lost board to Jason Short. Moose Knuckle in place du Trocadero is second. The Race Dictator in place du Costa Rica is P3. Jason Short in Avenue de New York is fourth. Johnny Prince in Avenue de New York is fifth. Jason Short in Avenue Pierre 1 ER de Servi is fourth, 0.4 behind the Race Dictator. Johnny Prince in place Charles de Gaulle on lap 2 is fifth, 1.1 behind Jason Short. Dictator from New Zealand in Avenue de IA Copyright NA is P3, 0.4 ahead of Jason Short. Jason Short in Rue de Magdebourg is fourth, 0.2 behind the Race Dictator. Race Dictator in Avenue de Ailau is P3. Best lap is a 2:13.510. 3.505 off the fastest lap. Jason Short in Rue Benjamin Franklin is fourth. Best lap is a 2:14.122. 4.117 off the fastest lap. Race Dictator from New Zealand in Rue Lena Tray is third, 0.8 behind Moose Knuckle. Jason Short from New Zealand in Avenue de New York is P4, 0.8 behind the Race Dictator. Race Dictator in Avenue Marceau is P3, 0.1 ahead of Jason Short. The Race Dictator lost third to Jason Short. Jason Short in Avenue de Champs 8 per thousand Lisa Copyright ES is P3, 0.4 behind Moose Knuckle. Race Dictator in Avenue de IA Copyright NA is fourth. Best lap is a 2:08.377. 2.684 off the fastest lap. Jason Short in Avenue du PRA Copyright Sident Wilson on lap 3 is P3, 0.3 behind Moose Knuckle. Jason Short was 1.5 faster last lap. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Johnny Prince in Rue de Longchamp is fifth, 1.2 behind the Race Dictator. Jason Short in place du Trocadero is P3, 0.3 behind Moose Knuckle. Moose Knuckle in place du Costa Rica is third, 0.2 behind Jason Short. Manon in Avenue de New York is P1. B Manon lost first to Jason Short. Moose Knuckle is third. Jason Short in Avenue de New York is second, 0.3 behind B Manon. Moose Knuckle in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson is third, 0.3 behind Jason Short. Race Dictator in Avenue Pierre 1 ER de Serpy on lap 3 is P4, 0.3 ahead of Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince in place Charles de Gaulle is 5th, 0.5 behind the Race Dictator. Johnny Prince was 1.1 faster last lap. Jason Short in Avenue de IA copyright NA is P2. Best lap is a 2:07.175. 1.482 off the fastest lap. Moose Knuckle in Rue de Magdebourg on lap 4 is P3, 0.5 ahead of the Race Dictator. The Race Dictator in Avenue de Alao is 4th battling Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince was 1.1 faster last lap. The Race Dictator is now 4th. Jason Short from New Zealand in Rue Benjamin Franklin is 2nd, 1.4 behind B Manon. Moose Knuckle in Boulevard de l'Isert is 4th, 0.4 behind Johnny Prince. The Race Dictator in Avenue de New York is P5, 0.7 behind Moose Knuckle. Jason Short in Avenue Marceau is P2, 1.4 behind B Manon. Jason Short was 5.0 faster last lap. Moose Knuckle in Avenue George V is P4, 0.5 behind Johnny Prince. Moose Knuckle is now 3rd. The Race Dictator in place Charles de Gaulle is 4th, 0.5 behind Moose Knuckle. The Race Dictator passed Moose Knuckle for 3rd. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de IA copyright NA is P4, 0.3 ahead of Jason Short. Jason Short was 2.6 faster last lap. Jason Short in Rue Longchamp is 5th, 0.2 behind Moose Knuckle. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Jason Short passed Moose Knuckle for P4. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de Alao is 5th. Best lap is a 2:08.706. 3.331 off the fastest lap. The Race Dictator in Rue Benjamin Franklin is P3, 0.5 behind B Manon. Johnny Prince in Boulevard de l'Isert is 1st, 0.9 ahead of B Manon. B Manon was 2.7 faster last lap. in Avenue to New York is P2, 0.4 ahead of the race dictator. B. Manon was 4.3 faster last lap. The race dictator in Avenue to New York is P3, 0.2 ahead of Jason Short. Moose Knuckle in Avenue Marceau is P4, 0.2 behind the race dictator. Jason Short from New Zealand in Avenue de Champs 8 per 1000 Lisa copyright ES is 5th, 1.4 behind Moose Knuckle. Johnny Prince in Avenue de IA copyright NA is P2, 0.2 ahead of the race dictator. The race dictator is P3, 0.3 behind Johnny Prince. The race dictator lost 4th to Jason Short. Johnny Prince in Avenue de Ilau is 2nd, 0.5 ahead of Moose Knuckle. Moose Knuckle in Place du Trocadero is 3rd, 0.1 behind Johnny Prince. Jason Short in Boulevard de l'Isère is 4th, 0.7 behind Moose Knuckle. Jason Short is now P3. Johnny Prince in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson is P2, 1.3 ahead of Jason Short. Jason Short in Avenue George V on lap 6 is P3, 0.9 behind Johnny Prince. Jason Short exiting pits. Jason Short lost P4 to Moose Knuckle. Johnny Prince from New Zealand in Place Charles de Gaulle is P2, 1.4 behind B. Manon. Jason Short in Avenue de IA copyright NA on lap 7 is P5. Johnny Prince in Place du Trocadero is P2. Best lap is a 2:08.062. 2.687 off the fastest lap. Five minutes remaining in the session. Jason Short in Rue Benjamin Franklin is 5th. Johnny Prince in Avenue de New York is 2nd, 1.1 behind B. Manon. B. Manon was 3.4 faster last lap. The race dictator is 3rd, 4.3 ahead of Moose Knuckle. The race dictator exiting pits. Moose Knuckle in place. Charles de Gaulle on lap 8 is fourth, 1.1 behind the race dictator. Johnny Prince in Avenue du Pra copyright Sidon Wilson is P2, 1.3 behind B Manon. Moose Knuckle is P4. Best lap is a 2:07.551. 2.176 off the fastest lap. B Manon from Italy in Boulevard delle Certe is first, 1.8 ahead of Johnny Prince. Moose Knuckle in Rue Lena Tray is P4, 0.3 behind the race dictator. The race dictator from New Zealand in Avenue de New York is P4 battling Moose Knuckle. The race dictator passed Moose Knuckle for P3. Moose Knuckle in Avenue Pierre 1 Er de Servi is fourth, 0.7 behind the race dictator. Moose Knuckle was 2.2 faster last lap. Moose Knuckle exiting pits. Johnny Prince in Statue A copyright Quester de Washington is second, 2.6 behind B Manon. The race dictator in Avenue de Alao is P3, 3.1 ahead of Moose Knuckle. The race dictator was 1.5 faster last lap. Johnny Prince in Avenue de New York is P2, 3.2 behind B Manon. Dictator in Avenue Marceau is third, 2.8 ahead of Moose Knuckle. The leader has just finished the race. B Manon finished first. Johnny Prince finished second. The race dictator finished third. Moose Knuckle finished P4. Jason Short finished fifth. race session is at in Paris, France. Jason Short from New Zealand is P1. Moose Knuckle from Canada is second. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Jason Short is first. Moose Knuckle is second. Johnny Prince from New Zealand in Statue A copyright Quester to Washington is fourth. B. Manon from Italy in Route to Longchamp is second. Moose Knuckle in Place du Trocadero is third. The Race Dictator from New Zealand is P4. Johnny Prince in Avenue de New York is P5. B. Manon in Avenue de New York is P2. Moose Knuckle in Avenue Pierre 1 ER de Servi is P3, 0.8 behind B. Manon. Johnny Prince in Avenue de Champs A per thousand Lisa copyright ES is P5. Best lap is a 2:14.216. 4.639 off the fastest lap. B. Manon in Avenue de IA copyright NA is second, 1.4 behind Jason Short. Moose Knuckle in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson is fourth, 0.2 behind the Race Dictator. Johnny Prince in Place de Mexico is P5, 1.5 behind Moose Knuckle. B. Manon in Rue Benjamin Franklin is second, 1.4 behind Jason Short. The Race Dictator in Boulevard de l'Isert is P4. Best lap is a 2:13.367. 3.790 off the fastest lap. Johnny Prince in Avenue de New York is fifth. B. Manon in Avenue Marceau is second. The Race Dictator in Avenue George V is P4, 0.4 behind Moose Knuckle. Johnny Prince in Place Charles de Gaulle is fifth, 0.4 behind the Race Dictator. Johnny Prince passed the Race Dictator for P4. The race dictator in Avenue de Ia copyright NA on lap 3 is 5th, 0.7 behind Johnny Prince. Minutes remaining in the session. V Manon from Italy in Avenue de Ilau is second, 1.0 behind Jason Short. Moose Knuckle in Place du Trocadero is fourth, 0.4 behind Johnny Prince. Race dictator from New Zealand in Rue Benjamin Franklin is 5th, 0.2 behind Moose Knuckle. V Manon in Avenue de New York is P2, 0.9 behind Jason Short. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de New York is 4th, 0.3 ahead of the race dictator. V Manon in Avenue George V is 2nd, 0.5 behind Jason Short. Jason Short in Avenue de Champs A per thousand Lisa copyright ES is P1, 0.8 ahead of V Manon. V Manon in Place Charles de Gaulle is P2, 0.4 ahead of Johnny Prince. Johnny Prince from New Zealand in Avenue de Ia copyright NA is 3rd, 0.4 behind V Manon. The race dictator in Rue de Magdebourg is P4, 0.6 ahead of Moose Knuckle. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de Ilau is 5th, 1.3 behind the race dictator. V Manon from Italy in Rue Benjamin Franklin is P2, 0.5 ahead of Johnny Prince. Jason Short in Rue Lena Tray is 2nd, battling V Manon. Jason Short passed V Manon for 1st. V Manon from Italy in Avenue de New York is 2nd, 0.2 behind Jason Short. In Avenue Marceau is 3rd, 0.4 ahead of the race dictator. The race dictator in Avenue de Champs A per thousand Lisa copyright ES is P4, 0.8 behind Johnny Prince. Moose Knuckle in Place Charles de Gaulle is P4, 1.2 behind the race dictator. Johnny Prince in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson is P2, 0.5 ahead of the race dictator. Race dictator from New Zealand in Rue de Longchamp is 3rd, 0.6 behind Johnny Prince. Moose Knuckle in place du Trocadero is fourth, 1.3 behind the race dictator. Ten minutes remaining in the session. Johnny Prince in place du Costa Rica is second. Best lap is a 2:08.936. 3.841 off the fastest lap. The race dictator in Avenue de New York is P3, 0.8 behind Johnny Prince. Jason Short in Avenue de New York is P5, 1.2 behind Moose Knuckle. Johnny Prince in Avenue George V is second, 1.0 ahead of the race dictator. Jason Short in Avenue de Champs A 4000 Lisa copyright ES is fifth, 0.6 behind Moose Knuckle. Johnny Prince in Avenue de IA copyright NA on lap 6 is P2, 1.3 behind B Manning. Jason Short is fifth, 0.4 behind Moose Knuckle. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de Alao is P5, 0.3 behind Jason Short. Jason Short in place du Trocadero is fifth, 0.2 behind Moose Knuckle. B Manon in Avenue de New York is P1, 3.4 ahead of Johnny Prince. Jason Short in Avenue Marceau is P5, 0.4 behind Moose Knuckle. Moose Knuckle is fourth, 0.4 ahead of Jason Short. Jason Short in place Charles de Gaulle is fifth, 0.3 behind Moose Knuckle. The race dictator in Avenue du PRA copyright Sidon Wilson is third, 1.0 behind Johnny Prince. B Manon in Rue de Longchamp on lap 7 is P1, 2.8 ahead of Johnny Prince. B Manon was 2.0 faster last lap. Johnny Prince in place de Mexico is P2. Best lap is a 2:06.852. 2.019 off the fastest lap. Race dictator in place du Trocadero is P3, 0.3 ahead of Moose Knuckle. Moose Knuckle was 0.9 faster last lap. Moose Knuckle in place du Costa Rica on lap 7 is fourth, 0.2 behind the race dictator. Jason Short in Avenue Blue is P5, 0.3 behind Moose Knuckle. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Johnny Prince in Avenue du PRA copyright cited Wilson is P2, 0.3 ahead of Moose Knuckle. Jason Short in Avenue George V is 5th, 1.8 behind Moose Knuckle. Moose Knuckle from Canada in Avenue du PRA copyright cited Wilson is P4, 0.8 ahead of Jason Short. Moose Knuckle was 1.2 faster last lap. Jason Short in Route Longchamp is 5th, 0.5 behind Moose Knuckle. Johnny Prince in Rue Lena Trey is P2, 3.2 ahead of the race dictator. Johnny Prince was 1.2 faster last lap. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de New York is 5th battling Jason Short. The race dictator in Avenue de Champs A per thousand Lisa copyright ES is P3, 3.2 behind Johnny Prince. Moose Knuckle in place Charles de Gaulle is P5, 0.8 behind Jason Short. Jason Short in Route Longchamp is 4th, 1.4 ahead of Moose Knuckle. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de Eylau is P5. Best lap is a 2:06.597, 1.764 off the fastest lap. Manon in Avenue de New York is P1. Moose Knuckle in Avenue de New York is 5th, 1.4 behind Jason Short. Stikal is third, 2.0 ahead of Jason Short. Jason Short in Ruta Magdeburg is fourth, 1.5 behind the race dictator. Moose Knuckle in place du Trocadero is P5, 4.0 behind Jason Short. Jason Short in Rue Lena Tray is P4, 0.3 behind the race dictator. The leader has just finished the race. B-Manon finished P1. Johnny Prince finished P2. Jason Short finished P3. Moose Knuckle finished P4.